we're working on hips, second chakra area, pubic area, reproductive system, and of course, still legs and feet. Bend your knees, just find your feet. This is the foundation. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Notice if you feel one foot more than the other right now. That could indicate an imbalance in the hips. That should change in the class. Inhale, straighten. Now add some thoracic movement. Exhale, release, look down at your feet if you can. And inhale, looking straight ahead, or you might look slightly up. Exhale, bend. Look down. Again, notice the weight on your feet. Inhale, straighten. Keep that going a few more times. And start working the engine of the breath, constricting the throat. You can do that ha breath with the mouth open if you like. Inhale naturally. Adding some arm movement if you like. Exhale, hands to that second chakra area, pubic area. Inhale, arms at the sides of the hips. Thumbs back if that feels good. Keep this going your own timing. Feeling the whole body move. Adding Brahmari if you like, the bee breath. And notice how adding sound likely lengthens your exhale. And then your inhale starts regulating as well. If it's comfortable, bring the arms a little higher, and we're going to Om to the heart. Inhale. Placing your hands on your hips, that second chakra area. You can just massage that area a little bit. Just notice how your belly is feeling. And then maybe make an intention today linked to mind emotions. As you breathe into the belly, inhale, expand the belly, exhale, draw it in. And it might be something like, may I experience emotional freedom. May I be free. May I be resilient. May I find the balance between the strong and the soft parts of myself. Just finding some language that works for you. If you like, time your mantra, your mind tool with your inhale, pause, and then exhale. And when you're ready, release that. I'm just going to adjust the lights for a sec. Okay, so starting to move with that Tadasana inhale, the arms coming up, maybe coming up onto the toes, and exhale, coming down. And you can add more thoracic movement if you like. Inhale, look straight ahead or slightly up. This is much harder when you're up on the toes, so be careful. If you're adding that piece, you might want to just stay on the heels. So that would look like this. And then you can bend the knees as you exhale if you like as well. And the arms can be any height that's comfortable for you. And just pause for a minute. So if you have a cushion available, so for this class, it's great to have a pillow, some sort of yoga belt, and a blanket if you have those things. If you want to put a cushion or a yoga block also between your thighs, I just want you to feel the inner thighs, which will give you a lot of hip stability as you exhale, and then inhale, release. And exhale, squeeze. Inhale, release. Now, if you like, you can add that arm movement and coming up onto the toes as you squeeze. If this is hurting your knees, try putting the cushion a little bit lower, maybe more between the knees. That might feel better for your body. So just notice where it feels good for you depending on your cushion, the width of the feet. So really squeezing in and feel how that activates both of your hips and probably gives you more stability. You could also have that belt on your ankles that we've been working on for the feet if you want. Really squeezing in, especially as you exhale. Find that mula line, that root line, from the pelvic floor down to the feet. And if you like, staying at the top and breathing, probably starting to feel your legs and feet about now, and hopefully into the hips. And rest with that. And just take a minute, notice how you feel in your body. And maybe if you weren't feeling yourself weighting onto one foot earlier, you might start to feel that your weight is becoming more balanced between your 2 feet, just having done that. Inhale, bringing the arms up. Exhale, bring one leg up, your hands halfway down. Inhale, opening up to the side. As you open your hands to the side, thumbs facing back, that feels good. Exhale, come back to the center. And inhale, bring that leg back as you bring your arms overhead and arch the spine, maybe palms together. And exhale, find your samastiti. Other side. Inhale, arms up in front of you. Exhale, hands halfway down as you bring your other leg up. Inhale, open that hip, arms to the side, thumbs back. Exhale, come to the center. Inhale, bring that leg back, arms up, maybe palms together. And exhale, samastiti. So that's one round. We're going to do around 6 of these. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bring your leg up, hands halfway. Inhale, opening, arms and hip. Exhale, gather to the center, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in, drawing in as much as you can to your center. Inhale, extend back. Exhale, both feet, arms down, samastiti. Inhale, arms up, chin down. Exhale, leg up, arms halfway down. Inhale, opening up. Exhale, coming to the center. Inhale, extend back. Exhale, samastiti. It's going to be fun. Inhale. Let's do one last one together. Hopefully I won't be kicked off again. This hasn't happened before. Inhale. Exhale. Leg coming up. Inhale, open the hip, arms to the side. Exhale, come to the center. Inhale, extend back. Exhale, samastiti. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, arms halfway down, leg halfway up. Inhale, opening everything. Exhale, centering. Inhale, extend back. Exhale, release. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, arms halfway down, leg up. Inhale, open the arms, open the hip, thumbs back. Exhale, come to the center. Inhale, extend back. Exhale, samastiti. Inhale, full Tadasana, arms up. Chin down. Exhale, arms halfway down, leg up. Inhale, opening. Exhale, centering. Inhale, extend. Exhale, samastiti. And rest. Bend your knees. Feet hip width apart. And notice the weight on your feet. Has it shifted? Have you come more to samastiti, even standing on both feet? Notice the shift during the class. Notice how you feel in your mind. Is your mind racing, or has it settled just a little bit, even 1%? Notice your breath, the quality of the natural inhale, exhale. Is it long and smooth, or is it still a bit jumpy, ragged, short? Is the inhale different than the exhale? Is the exhale different than the inhale? This is all the biofeedback of yoga, telling us where we're at in our mind, body, emotions, the foundation of the spiritual experience, the container. All right, so inhale, arms to the sides, the feet hip width apart. Exhale, I want you to bend the knees, and as if you're hugging a tree, you're gonna lean back into a Ardha Utkatasana, but we're gonna do this on exhale. Inhale, opening up. Exhale, sit down as if you're sitting on a chair. Inhale, opening. Now you could do this with a block between the legs if you want to hug into your center and create more stability for the hips. You could also put a belt on the thighs and press out. Now, as you're doing this, bring your awareness to the soles of your feet and try to bring the weight evenly on each foot. So if you tend to weight more on one side versus the other, just try to even that out. Or just observe how it changes as you do it. So the body will just naturally come to balance. The body likes balance. So it's always trying to find that equilibrium in the mind, body, breath, emotions. Sometimes doesn't find the most helpful route, but it does its best. It tries. So sometimes we need to encourage it in a direction. Okay, we're just going to finish that. Now we're going to take it up a notch. So you can use a wall to hold on to, or a chair, the back of a chair. I think I'll show with a chair today just to give you that sense. But you could use a wall. Okay, so you're going to exhale, you're going to bend as well. Exhale, bend the knees and sit back more. Maybe you can bring that chair further away so you can sit back a little bit more. Inhale, coming up. Now, if you want to take it up a notch, you could try to bring your hands off the chair as you do that inhale, exhale. Or staying down here, inhale, just come up onto the toes and exhale, bend. So I'm going to do this version. Inhale, coming up. So bend. And when you bend, you might lean back a bit more. Really getting into those legs. When you come up, maybe try to release your hands. See what you can do. And then just stay in your Ardha Utkatasana. You could bring your arms up. You could leave your hands on the chair. And work those hips, your thighs, your glutes. And release. So that's for strengthening. Okay, so we're going to go back to flexibility of the hips. We're going to start with warrior. So you're going to bring one foot forward, the other back. Start with your easier side if you like. Your legs are about one leg width apart, heel to heel alignment or wider. You're going to bend that front knee towards that second toe. The back foot, try to feel the little toe side. And feel an opening in that back hip. So that's working psoas. Inhale, the arms coming up. Maybe palms together. And exhale, release. Let's start with this. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, release. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, release. Put your mind on that back hip. You're also strengthening the front hip. This time we're going to stay. Try to square off your hips, drawing the front hip back and opening the back hip. The knee, how it's tracking along the second toe, so just watch for that. That back heel you could put at a wall to help you align a little bit better. You could put a chair at the front leg, so the seat of a chair at your shin to help you align with that. And just really feel your legs, your feet, your hips, your lower back. And release. Come through the center if you like, or step back and go to the other side, your choice. Find your stance, find your alignment. Front knee tracking over second toe. Back foot opening to comfort of the knee and the hip. Straighten the front leg. Inhale, bend the front knee. Bring the arms up in front. Arms apart or palms together. You can look slightly up or straight ahead. And exhale, release. I'm doing this around 4 times, repeating. Virabhadrasana. And when you've finished around 4 times, staying in the pose if this is comfortable, otherwise keep it moving. It's easier to move than to stay usually. And feel the strength of this pose, strengthening the front hip and leg and opening the back hip, stretching the back leg as well, opening the chest. Staying here 4 to 6 breaths. And when you're ready, release. Come to the center. And just check in with your hips. Notice how you feel. So I always really notice how my weight shifts as I do my practice towards being on both feet. So just see if that's the case for you. And if there's one leg you don't tend to stand on very well, notice if you're really feeling that leg and foot right now. Okay, we're going to take it up a notch. So this is quite strengthening what we're about to do. I'm going to start with an easy version. So you can hold the back of a chair or a wall. I'm just going to show with my mini wall here. So you're going to bring one foot back. And you're just going to exhale, bend that knee to where you can. You could have a block or a pillow that you're bending your knee to. My legs are parallel, so I'm starting in a parallel position with my feet about hip width apart. And as I exhale, I'm bending that back knee to where I can, and then inhale, coming up. Now you can keep that front leg straight when you come up, or keep it bent, like a runner's lunge. So do something like that. Find a full runner's lunge. You get a bit of a calf stretch with that. So let's just start with this, and then I'm going to take it up a notch. Just bending to where you can. You don't have to bend very far, or you can come all the way down. Hold on to anything you have around your house. It could be a countertop or couch, chair. And let's just stay in a calf stretch for a moment. So placing that back heel down, maybe resting your head on a wall or on the back of a chair. And then switch sides, step forward, and then the other leg back. So again, my feet are like they're standing on railway tracks, about hip width apart, your hip width, whatever that is for you. My legs are parallel. My back knee, I'm gonna bend. I'm gonna start with a front knee bent, tracking over the second toe. So that's my inhale. Exhale, bend the back knee. And inhale, straighten. You can keep that front knee bent, or you can straighten it as well. That might be easier for you. And then adding on the inhale, if you can, looking up. Exhale, looking down. And when you feel you've done enough, just staying in your calf stretch, step that foot forward, feet parallel, rest. And coming out of it. So you can keep that going. So on each side, or I'm going to show a more dynamic, a little tougher version of this. So, and you can modify just by not bending your knees as much. You can also modify by only stepping forward, not back, as I'm about to show. Inhale, arms coming up to your full Tadasana. Exhale, stepping forward. So again, if you had a chair here or a bench, you can hold on to it or release. Inhale, coming back to your place, and come back a little bit more. Exhale, bring that back foot, bring that same leg back and come down. Inhale, center. Exhale, forward. Inhale, center. Exhale, back. Inhale, center. Be careful you don't bang into stuff. Exhale. Inhale, center. Exhale, back. Just do what you can. Again, you don't have to bend the leg very much, or just do it as we did earlier, one leg at a time. And take a break. I'm going to show the other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bring the other leg forward and knee back. And again, you could be holding onto a wall or a chair to help you. Inhale, center. Exhale, that same leg back. Try to keep that front knee so it's not bending beyond the toes. Inhale up. Doesn't have to be in line with the ankle, but not beyond the toes ideally. So you might need to step back a bit more, bring your weight back a bit more. And notice if one side is harder than the other. And finishing up. Your heart rate's fairly up after that one. So that one is fitness inspired. Just let your breath slow down. And that one really creates a lot of stability in the hips over time. Helps you with walking, climbing, all those kinds of things. So just rest for a minute. Let your breath come back to neutral. Okay, so we're going to do some forward bends. So we're going to do some asymmetric forward bends. So you're going to cross one foot behind the other. And you can start with your easy side. And you're going to inhale, bring your arms up. And exhale, come forward. Inhale, come up. And exhale, forward. Keep this going. You can always bring the arms to the side rather than up and down. If that's not working for you. You can also bring your hands just halfway down to the seat of a chair or to a table if you've got glaucoma or post-concussion syndrome, so just keep that in mind. This one can be really helpful if you've got scoliosis with a curve in the lower back. The leg that's behind is stretching the concave side, if you know what that means, your compressed side. For everyone else, this is just working with balancing the hips. And it's become one of my favorite exercises. I first learned it from a physio, and then I realized that my teachers also used it in yoga therapy. If you like, just staying at the bottom and breathing, or keep it moving. And see if you can get more deeply into stretching the hip of the foot that's behind you. And coming up, and again, you could be doing that with your hands on the seat of a chair or the back of a chair. And switching sides, always being very slow and mindful, coming out of forward bends as you change the position of the head in relationship to the heart, which affects blood pressure and also the nervous system. Inhale, the arms coming up. Exhale, forward bend, drawing the belly in from the pelvic floor all the way up to the belly button. Inhale up and exhale down your own time. Feel that stretch in the hip of the foot that's behind you, maybe staying down now and going more deeply into that stretch. And just slowly coming up, maybe taking 2 breaths. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, stay. Inhale the rest of the way up. Exhale, release the legs. Okay, so the next one is a bit more on the balance side again. This is optional. So you can either cross the other leg behind again, as we did earlier, or you can try to imagine that you're on a tightrope and put one foot behind the other and see if you can move in this position. This is much tougher. This is also working with the feet a lot. You can probably feel your feet doing this as they try to find balance. Inhale. So be careful. You might also want to just come halfway down. Exhale, coming forward. Inhale, coming up. Arms in front or beside you. Whew. This one is a challenge for me as well, to really pay attention. And maybe staying down and then play with inhale halfway up. It's coming on your fingertips, or you could be using blocks. Exhale forward, or your hands can be on the seat of the chair. If you want to challenge yourself a bit more, you can fold the arms holding opposite elbows. And then stay for about 4 of those. Gradually come up. Take your time. And we're going to switch sides. Other foot behind. So feet like you're walking on a tightrope, exactly behind each other if you can. Inhale, arms up. Uttanasana with modification of feet. Exhale, forward bend. You might adjust your feet a little bit. I notice I'm cheating. It's my harder side. And the body is very tricky. It's creating a little wider stance for me to make it easier. So anyway, I think the body's super intelligent. It figures these things out. But with our awareness, we can direct the body and mind and breath in a different direction, a different pattern, which is part of what makes us human, is making that choice about where we want to go. After doing that around 4 times, maybe 6, maybe staying at the bottom and inhale, arching up, exhale, forward bend. It's called sthiti. Or you can hold opposite elbows. Ardha Uttanasana, full Uttanasana, half forward bend and then full forward bend. The Ardha, or the half, is very strengthening. This version also really elongates the upper back. It's a lot of computer work these days. Getting length under the armpits and through the whole upper back. Maybe staying in the pose now. And just gradually coming up. Take a breath at the halfway position, perhaps. Inhale all the way. Exhale, release. And that was our last standing pose. Notice how you feel and just do a check-in. So at this point, your legs and feet should be starting to feel fairly heavy and grounded without too much effort. You should be starting to notice that your weight is more evenly on both feet, or there's been a change, at least in that direction. You can always bend your knees to help you feel your feet more and adjust where your weight is. And your legs even might be shaking a little bit after all that hard work. We're going to take it down to the ground. Use a mat or what have you. Just have available a cushion, a belt, maybe a blanket for your head. I'm going to try this direction today for a change. So just finding your full Tadasana with your feet at the wall if you like. And just rest for a minute. You can do this with your legs bent, your feet wide, angle the knees in. Just take a rest. And I realize I do want to be the other direction because I want to show you this. So lying down, and your feet together, arms at the sides, palms facing down or up. And I'd like you to, as you inhale, bring your legs to the sides. So if you're on a mat, you probably want to fold your mat in half and just be on the floor for your legs to make it easier to slide. A little hard to do this with a mat from the waist down or the hips down. Inhale, open one side and keep the knee facing up to the sky. And exhale, draw that leg in. Inhale, open the other side. Try to keep the knee facing up. Exhale in. You can also point the toes as you do that. Inhale. And exhale, flex the toes towards the nose. And just finishing up. And just rest, the legs bent, feet wide. You can angle the knees in if that feels good on your lower back, palms up if that feels good on your neck and shoulders. Please have a blanket under the head. If your chin's coming too much to the sky, even a pillow to bring the chin down. So there's a nice alignment between your nose and your chest. Nice straight line. Okay, so we're going to open those hips a bit. So we're going to bring the soles of the feet together. So you're going to open one hip at a time, and you're going to bring one arm up at a time. I'm just going to start with the legs. So inhale, open. And then start to exhale and then start to move. Feel like the exhale's moving your legs together. Now you can use same arm as leg or opposite arm to leg as you come up and down. So really feel like your core, your breath, your mula, your root is drawing that leg into the center on the exhale. Doing one side at a time. If you've got one hip that's tighter, This will just help even out that opening. So you might notice your side that's a bit tighter, you're actually able to open it completely when you're doing it one side at a time. You can keep that going if you like, or you can do both legs, Supta Baddha Konasana, supine bound angle pose, or it's usually called butterfly in the West. And try to move with resistance as you draw your knees together very slowly, activating the core, the root, the mula, to close. Inhale, relax. You're going to arch the back as you do this. Tuck the chin in if that feels comfortable as you inhale. And then exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in, like you're reeling in some heavy fish. These fish are your legs. You can play with the opening feet further away from you or closer, and that will change the angle and the effect on the hips. So you could also have a block under each thigh as you open the legs to even out the opening, or put a pillow or bolster underneath the thighs, and you can also do it that way. That can be helpful when you have one hip that's quite different than the other. And we're going to play with the closing of this position. So stay in the open position for a few breaths. If it's comfortable, arms overhead, or just adjust the arms to the side. I'm going to interlock my fingers, palms facing away from me. And as you exhale, you probably feel the tailbone tuck under and probably the hips open a bit more. And then inhale, you'll feel your back arch as the pelvis rotates forward. As you exhale, the pelvis is going to rotate back as the tail tucks under. And again, you could have those pillows or blocks underneath the knees or the outside of the hip to help you balance the opening of the hips. Okay, we're going to take this up a notch. Feel free to take a break at any time. You're going to put your hands on the insides of your thighs. And as you exhale with resistance, I want you to close the hips halfway. Inhale, stay here. Exhale, close the hips more and press your hands as if you're trying to open your hips. So you're closing with resistance. This will help you get into your core as well. Inhale, stay. Exhale, close with more resistance as you come all the way together. And inhale, open the hips, arms to the sides. Place your hands on the insides of the thighs. Exhale, close about a quarter of a way with your hips, with your palms pressing on the hips, the inner thighs with resistance. Inhale, stay with that opening. Exhale, close another quarter, pressing with your palms as if you're trying to open your hips, but you're closing them with resistance. Inhale, stay. Exhale, close with resistance of the palms. One more. Inhale. Exhale, close the whole way. You should feel your core also working as you do this.
and open. This is also PNF response to trick the hips into relaxing. So you might feel that they're releasing a little bit now. We're going to do that one more time. So palms on the inner thighs. Start to exhale with resistance. The palms. Inhale, stay. Exhale, close. Quarter of the way. With resistance, inhale, stay. Exhale, close. Another quarter. Inhale, stay. And last quarter. And inhale, open. Go back to your Supta Baddha Konasana. It's comfortable. Heels together, knees open. And notice if your hips have opened a little bit more. As you inhale, feel your back arch. As you exhale, feel your back contract, the lower back going into the floor, tucking the tail under. And notice how that movement of the back affects the movement of the pelvis and the hips. It's said in the yoga tradition and in somatic therapies that this area is an area where we hold emotions, emotional experiences from the past, including trauma. So be gentle with yourself. Sometimes you will have things come up through the day after kind of going into this area. So just be mindful of that if you're feeling a little vulnerable, either while you're doing the exercise or afterwards. Any kind of past experience that was frightening or difficult. And just do a counter feet wide angle, the knees in. Just rest that direction for a moment. And you can stay there if it's comfortable. Moving into Apanasana, we're going to do this with some hip movement. Exhale, knees to the chest, and inhale, open. You can hold on top of the knees, or I like for this one actually holding underneath the knees. Exhale in, and inhale, open. Exhale, gathering to the center and then to the chest. Inhale, open. This can feel really good on the lower back as well. The SI joints, if you've got any SI joint pain, this one can feel really good. So the hips also really affect the lower back, and we're moving into that soon. You can change the direction of the opening. Inhale, open, and exhale, draw to the center. So inhale, knees away, and then open the hips. Exhale, draw the knees towards you, and then knees together. Inhale, knees away, opening the knees and the hips. Exhale, knees towards you and closing to the center. Just keep that going. And rest, feet apart, angle the knees in. And when it's comfortable, just coming onto one side. You might want to put a blanket or pillow under your hips, especially if you're a little more bony. You might not be very comfortable lying on your hip, so put whatever padding you need. And one arm extending as a pillow. You could also use a pillow. The classical pose is like this. Asana, actually, the classical pose, you're on both hips like this, which is quite challenging. So I always bend the lower leg. This is, Anantasana, the sleeping Vishnu pose. So I've got the lower leg bent. I'm lying on the lower arm outstretched. And first of all, I just want you to bring that leg up. That's the beginning of the pose, with the knee facing forward. And then if it's comfortable, adding the arm. So as you inhale, coming up, and maybe bringing your palms together. And exhale, bringing the arm down as you bring the leg down. Now you can also point and flex the feet. Inhale, pointing. Exhale, flex. So Ananta, it's called Anantasana. Ananta is a beautiful concept from the Yoga Sutras, chapter 247. And it's actually a set of sutras, 46 through 48. And these sutras say that when you're doing the poses of yoga, you want to develop stiram, strength, and sukham, ease. Take a break. And then we're going to switch sides. We're going to do 2 rounds of this. So stiram, strength, and sukham, ease. And you want to have strength without irritation or any kind of agitation. Stretching that top leg nice and straight, the bottom leg bent. Inhale, bringing the arm up. And exhale, bring that hand down as you bring the leg up. Just keep that going. Inhale, lengthening. And exhale, contracting. Inhale, pointing away. I think I did opposite arm on the other side for some reason, but anyway, this is the normal way that it's done. So stiram and sukham, so that strength and that softness, that yin and that yang. So it's said when you master this, by releasing any unnecessary tension in the body-mind. So you develop this relaxed attention. You sink into ananta, as in the pose, anantasana, infinite harmony. Ananta means infinite harmony. And in such a state of harmony, the next sutra says, you are no longer troubled by opposites. Now, this refers to all the 20 opposites that are talked about in Sankhya philosophy. But those include hot and cold and dry and wet and all of those. But by extension, the opposites are also
anything that trigger us, pleasure, pain, being the foundation of most of those experiences. And just finishing up and resting for a moment. And do another round, switching sides. So Vishnu is from the Vedic culture. Vishnu represents balance and harmony, this Ananta. And he's sleeping on a bed of snakes, which doesn't sound very appealing to most of us. Anyway, the snakes, you can think of like a really comfortable bed. Inhale, bring that arm up and extend the leg away. And can you decompress that top hip as you're doing that? So really decompress it, stretch, stretch, stretch. So that's your inhale, exhale. Bring the leg up and the hand to the outside of the thigh. So Vishnu, representing balance, he's sleeping on this bed, which is neither too hard nor too soft. And I consider this Ananta representing the balanced body, mind, breath. And I call this the bedrock of stability in our system, this Ananta. It's like a bed that has, in the old days, we had bed springs. So you can think of those as like snakes. Snakes are strong yet very subtle, very supple, very flexible. So when you have this balance, we all know this, when we feel balanced and well in our body, mind, breath, we have a lot more resilience. Things don't bother us as much. And that's one of the great things of yoga. You go into your class or your practice, something's bothering you, you come out of it and you're wondering why it was bothering you so much. Take a break. And that's just the reality of being in our body with a nervous system. It sometimes gets very triggered by life, external life, internal life, by other people, by the environment. Switching sides. Extend that top leg nice and long. And decompress that hip by stretching as long as you can. Sometimes when there's hip pain, there's compression of the ligaments in here. This can be really helpful for decompressing. So that's your inhale, exhale. Bring your leg up. Your knee is facing towards the center, your hand to your thigh. Trying to keep everything nice and square. Inhale, extend, and exhale up. So Anantasana, the pose of Ananta, that infinite harmony. Ananta is another name for Vishnu's bed of snakes. And the myth continues that that bed of snakes comes down to the earth and becomes Patanjali, who's the mythical author of the Yoga Sutras. So it's quite an extensive myth, very interesting one, what it represents. And it said that Vishnu is normally sleeping. And this is the same as the soul within us, the Purusha. The Purusha, the soul, is asleep in the town, the Puram. Usually asleep. or resting and watching the show of your life. So Vishnu is just hanging out. And the soul only becomes active, or the divine, if you believe in God or a divine aspect to life. That part of you, or look at it as something external to you as well, comes to help, intervenes in your life only when you ask. So you have to wake up your soul by asking. Or the Yoga Sutras say that you will naturally wake up. You'll have an awakening. Just naturally, that part of you will wake up and take over by doing these practices. So there's two methods to awakening. One is through prayer, invocation, or bhakti yoga, or any of the prayer traditions of our cultures. Rest. So you can have an active asking for help, for grace, for aid. Or you can just do these practices. And this was, very much the Buddha's contribution as well as the Yoga Sutras, is that you just do these practices and you will wake up naturally, and you don't even need to define what that is. So when the Buddha was asked about God, he just didn't answer. So thought it was better just to have the experience rather than to talk about it. Creating this harmony in the system, this ananta, is the first primary goal of yoga. It's the foundation. When you're ready, moving into your shavasana, I recommend putting a pillow or something under your thighs to act as a bit of a counterpose to what we just did. You could also put your legs up the wall or on a chair. Another thing I really like to do is put my feet at the wall, and do this. If you have hips that are not balanced, it can really help balance your hips. And you can also try that without the pillow. That's what my body's saying, so I'm going to do that version today. Just try to make your back nice and straight. And notice if you feel that ananta, that harmony, that sattva. We also call it sattva in the gunas. That harmony, that infinite harmony. And in this place, do you feel more aware, the real you, the changeless you? Do you feel more awake, yet relaxed? You might visualize yourself lying on a very comfortable bed, or you might be in your bed since you're all at home. Maybe lying in a hammock, some other comfortable place, sand, maybe floating in the water, warm lake. In that place, complete comfort and safety, stability. Bring that to mind and rest.
Inhale, let. Exhale, go. Inhale, am. Exhale, free. Or pick another word that resonates with you for that feeling of balance. Just starting to increase the length of the breath. Noticing how you feel in your body, in your breath, and in your mind, emotions. Your heart, your deepest heart. Starting to move your hands and feet, bending one leg at a time, rolling to one side. And coming up to a sitting position. Close, sitting any way that's comfortable. You can be in a chair, or you could keep lying down if that's better for you. And just ending with Om Shanti. This means peace. Om.
Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Namaste. Thank you very much.